Is your dog aggressive? Do you find during obedience he seems a little confused? Does he suffer from separation anxiety? You may be experiencing conflict. What is conflict? It's pretty much stress. We talk about stress, incompatibility. There are three primary forms of conflict. There's frustrated motivation, there's motivational conflict, and then there's conditioned conflict. And as the name implies, frustrated motivation is where the dog is frustrated, where the dog can't attain its drive goal or obtain its reward. In the case of separation anxiety, it's when the owner leaves the home and the dog can't go with the owner, part of the pack. It suffers from conflict. So one of the outward signs of that is where you have a dog that barks excessively when the owner's not there, marks, urinates in the house, defecates, destructive chewing. These are all forms, or the results, I should say, of conflict.
Oh, good boy. Good boy.
All right, what you just saw there is a form of conflict. We're exploiting frustrated motivation, where I'm adding resistance on the toy, not letting a dog win it as easy. And what happens is he fights me back with the head side to side movement. And then eventually I come into a cradle and get him to unload nicely into the toy. But this is where we can utilize conflict to actually develop the fighting drive.
Oh, good boy. Oh, yeah. Good boy.
Nice. So if you want to teach your dog how to fight really strong with your decoy, you can do a lot of post work or play just like this and exploit frustrated motivation. Again, another form of conflict.
Good boy. Oh, yeah. Good job. Good boy. Gary.
Then you have motivational conflict. And what that is when two incompatible behaviors go into conflict with one another. You have to make her do it again. Do it again.
Good. Stay. Come. Good girl. Stay. Come. Hip. Loose. Hip. Heel.
Focus. Good. Loss of focus there. And again, as you see with this dog, she's going into a little bit of conflict. The food is on the ground. She knows she has to maintain focus. So she's torn between the food and we're exploiting the pack drive. When we talk about the pack drive, we're talking about, again, our leadership over the dog and leadership in concern, as you see there, in regards to the dog maintaining the heel position and the focus at the same time.
Sit. Good. Come. Good girl. Good.
Nice.
What?
Once again, motivational conflict, two incompatible behaviors going into conflict with one another. In this situation, it's food drive versus pack drive.
Come. Come.
We're getting
Good.
various behaviors, everything from loss of
I did release
focus
her, by the way.
to the actual
Good.
barking, a little bit of redirected aggression. And that all stems from conflict. Then we have conditioned conflict. And what that is the inconsistent interaction between the dog and the handler. And we tend to see that more during obedience training. What happens is we teach the dog, let's say, the sit command. And when we teach the dog the down command. And when we're teaching the dog the down command, we're giving the command, and simultaneously we're using a hand signal or bending over as we say down. Then eventually in time, when we introduce another command, let's say like the sit command, we may say sit, and at the same time we might do this. So we bend over and we say sit, as though the dog can't hear you. Or if you have to go all the way down to get him to sit. And what happens is the dog becomes confused. He generalizes because he's seeing the same motion or action like when you were teaching him the down command. And so this is where you see actual conflict, confusion. So that's what we mean when we say the inconsistent interaction between the owner and the dog. So whenever we're discussing or we're talking about behavioral issues, it's got to be any one of those three forms of conflict that the dog is experiencing. And knowing this will better arm you for the future when you're working on specific behaviors with your dog. So that wraps up our discussion on conflict, and I hope you found it very informative. This may help you in your endeavors when you're working on certain behavioral problems with your dog. And if you did like the video, don't forget, guys, to give us a great big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. With that said, have a great day.